Hello and welcome back to Surface Rust Garage. Today we are going to be adding a Cannella riser to the 2010 Honda Fury, which is going to bring the handlebars up and back about 2 inches, which gives for a much more comfortable riding position. It's a beautiful day, it's about 77 degrees out, it's 10 in the morning, and let's get started. I'm going to take off my windshield to make this easier to get to. This thing is absolutely amazing for both summer and winter because in the summer you get the hairdryer effect, so when you're going down the road the hot air just feels like a hairdryer blowing directly in your face. There is no cool air. In the winter, it helps keep the cold air off of you. So for this install we are going to need to remove these 2 nuts on both sides. You're going to need a 19mm socket and an 8mm socket. The reason why you have to move the little wiring hoops on the bottom is just to allow for some extra slack in the line, because once you get these risers you're going to have to move these wires around to make sure you have enough adequate play for turning the handlebars. Be careful because there's really not a lot of space under here to get that 8mm in there. Alright, I'm going to get something to cover up this tank so that way I can rest the handlebars onto it once I get them off. Alright, found the cover. Let's get these handlebars off. Unlock the bar, pull it to the right. I have my 19mm socket. That way, rotate it down to the right. And bam. Having a breaker bar makes this significantly easier. Once they're broken free, switch to a ratchet. Put it over here to the side. Now take the bars off. Set those over here on the tank with the cover. And I'm gonna give this a quick clean. Here's what all that looks like. I'm gonna try to clean up those threads a little bit and clean up those mounting holes. Alright, now we're gonna get the risers on here. that. Make sure that it's slanted this way, so that way when you put it back on there, it'll actually be facing the right way. Your bolts are down here. You'll be clamping those on, you'll be refastening those to 41 foot-pounds using the stock hardware. Alright, that lock applied. I'm going to see if I can't get these back on solo. You use a 10mm head bolt. Get that out of the way. I will deal with the tension of the wires in a bit once I get these back on. Sorry, I'm moving the camera. Okay, you guys better reposition. There we go. Fussing, but I finally got that one. And that one's on. This one should be easier to get on. I unfortunately do not have a torque meter that would fit this. So now we get it good and snug. That is the first part done. To the right. Perfect. And let's see how she sits. That is so much better. Not perfect, but definitely better. I think if I still had the stock seat, it would be absolutely perfect, but reaching or sitting all the way back, reaching forward, I still have my fingertips touching it, so I have to lean forward just a little, which isn't a big deal, but before I was definitely reaching a lot further. So this is a major improvement. It is time to deal with all of the wiring. You don't have to remove the wiring, it just needs to be routed slightly differently. Alright, on to the clutch side. The clutch cable is fine, it doesn't really need to be moved, but you have to push the harness for the switches up through here so it has some more slack, so it's not rubbing against your tank. And I need to buy replacement zip ties because both of these broke on me. I can deal with that later. This is going to be another one of those things that's kind of a pain to get back on. There's just not a whole lot of space to be able to manipulate this bolt back in with your fingers. I actually turn this sideways, like this, and then give myself some more space from the back. So what I'm going to do, actually, is pull this back up. There we go. And now that's retightened. And you pull the slack for both the screen and the wiring harness back out. I find it easier to put my finger on a ratchet and you can't tighten it to kind of help eliminate some of that back drag. Now it is self-aligning, which is good. And there we go. So, fortunately, it does still hit the tank right there. I'm gonna figure out what to do about that. Alright, so the solution that I came up with is this piece of self-sticking Velcro that loops back into itself. I was gonna use a zip tie, but I don't know what happened to my zip ties. But it does hold this above the tank, which is what you want. Alright, that was the easy side. Now on to the more difficult side. So what we're gonna have to do is take either a small screwdriver or a pick, slide it down into the interior of this grommet so we can slide it down the brake line so we can get this wiring retainer back into place. And that's going to require you to trim this little piece of rubber brake line so that way the grommet can slide down. So let's get to it. Alright, I found a little pair of gardening shears that should work to cut this line. You don't need to do much, but that looks perfect. Be very careful not to cut your brake line. Because that would be not good. About 2 inches. If you need to cut it more, I'll cut it more. So it's down. Just like that. And I'm gonna get a pick and see if I can't slide that down. Alright. Actually, I'm getting a little screwdriver. Push it down here on the seam. So it's vulcanized in place, and that'll crack that. And take that out. Now I'm going to use this. Use the little thing itself to manipulate it back into place. I did cut it down far enough, which is good. So I'm going to snip this off. Alright, I got that cut. Wrap back around the line. And now it's time to get this rebolted back at one here. Gravity works. Alright, got that started. Keep your finger on the socket if you have a lot of back drag.
Look at that press button, not a big deal. Yes.
On, getting that snug, and just like that, we are done. I'd actually had the same issue with it touching, so I just went ahead and velcroed this side too. Now full lock, it does not touch. And for those of you who are curious as to what this was, just in case, it is a phone charger. This was the only place that I could find that was small enough to mount it. It's got USB A and C. Alright, this is what she looks like all put back together. I think really the only thing left to do is take her out for a ride. So long as the weather holds out, because I think it's supposed to rain today. I do have some other parts coming from Partzilla, so that way I can fix a few of the other little issues that I have, like the broken, messed up foot pegs, the rubber down there. A lot of the grommets holding on the side panels are disintegrating and not holding the covers in place. I have all that coming. I have the new bezel for the headlight coming, so I can get that fixed. I have new brake lever coming, so I can get that fixed. And then after that, I need to get her repainted. And then I need to get new grips as well. These were some eBay specials because I really like having the built-in cramp busters. But these ones weren't really good quality, so I need to buy some new ones. And then I'll start doing some more cosmetic and performance upgrades. But she's getting there, but definitely needs new paint. I'd like to get quick release saddlebags for this thing, but thanks to all the tariffs, they're not available right now. Thanks to all of the tariffs, they are not available right now, which is really sad because doing some maintenance, like on the rear shock and tires and whatever, brakes, it's a lot easier without the saddlebags on, and they're kind of a bit of a pain to take on and off. So I would eventually like quick release ones. And I should probably get going soon because there is thunder if I want to test ride. didn't think 2 inches could make that much of a difference, but apparently it does. Thought I'd let them say different. Well, that is a completely different bike. It handles way different, a lot more upright, a lot more comfortable, and definitely gonna have to spend some time getting reused to it. But that's it for this episode of Surface Rust Garage. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.
Those only take about 15 to 20 minutes now.
That's it. Yep. Sweet and sour flex steak, teriyaki kebabs, and bacon wrapped jalapenos.
Bam!
Yum.